Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hi, I'm Rose Davidson from Talking with the Experts. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Global Glamping Charities for their valued support. Global Glamping Charities, solving homelessness in all its forms. Reach out to them at globalglamping.org.
Talking with the Experts.
In episode 461, Manny Skevofilax discusses why we should not grow too fast and outstrip the amount of capital that we have.
Yes. Great question. You have to be, in my experience, very careful because we get mesmerized by all the dramatic growth stories, that we hear about in the news all the time. And they really are in the minority. They're like 1% of all of the businesses. For example, there's 30 million small businesses in America. And, there's people out there every day that run profitable businesses. They're able to take care of their employees, their families, their community. The main thing is to don't grow too fast where you get into loss making. You have to have a really good handle on that because, unfortunately, it could lead to your business failing. And you don't want that to happen. So one of the ways is, with a budgeting and forecast tool, and that will give you the information you need. So you'll have a reasonable idea when you can hire that next employee or when you can go get a bigger office space or things like that.
Talking with the Experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And don't forget, if you're looking for a podcast editor, just hit me up with a DM or an email and I'll be happy to have a look for you. My next guest is Manny Skevofilax, and we're going to be talking about don't grow too fast. And this is because sometimes in our zeal to grow our businesses, we grow too fast and outstrip the amount of capital that we have in our business. This challenge can lead to losses and cash flow issues. And you need to figure out how much you can afford to spend in your business, and you need to stick to that budget. And my guest, Manny Skevofilax, said it right before. Skevofilax is a consultant and speaker that helps his clients successfully navigate the challenges of growing their business profitably. Since 2003, Manny has helped businesses by using his experience in strategic planning, financial statement analysis, operations, organizational development, and team building. His consulting firm, Portal CFO Consulting Incorporated, has attracted clients from diverse industries in the United States and abroad. Welcome, Manny, and thank you so much for being with me today.
Hello, Rose, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we were just discussing that beautiful photo in the background and your Greek heritage and all sorts of things. And so, is that what not the photo as such, but your heritage and the things that your family have been through? Did that prompt you to go into the financial services industry?
Yes. My parents immigrated to America from Greece after World War II, and they slowly saved their money and opened up a small restaurant, which is what people in that era were doing here. And I felt like I liked it. I took a shine to it and I enjoyed it. And it was constant learning there. So yes, that's what got me started on the road.
Yeah. So what level of clientele do you have? Who do you help?
I help all different kinds of businesses, manufacturers, service companies, contractors. They're in all different types of industries.
Yeah, great. That's good to know. So, how can we as small business owners, stick to a budget? Because it can be a difficult thing to navigate.
It is. I found in my experience, Rose, that many people are not thrilled about budgeting. Certainly personally and, much more so business wise. However, it's important to be able to track your money in your business because, as you mentioned, it's really easy to stop getting profitable or turn to losses as you're trying to grow that business. So it's important to put some kind of system in place to help you along so your business does not turn unprofitable.
Yeah, it can be, especially if you're bootstrapping your business, it can be difficult to work to a budget. You want all those lovely shiny things that come along, and so how can we manage our money better? What sort of strategies should we be looking at?
In my experience, having some kind of really simple template, everyone has to select what works for them, but make yourself a little simple template and try to forecast the next 12 months. How much money is going to come into the business and how much money is going to go out. And that way you can see every month, will there be money left over or will you not have enough money? Will you have some kind of deficit? And if you can put 12 months together, it gives you a really nice path of visibility. So you're not forced to make any quick decisions. For example, if it's March now, your little forecast would say, hey, potentially I see in June that I might have a little shortfall. And it would give you several months to take action so you don't suddenly hit that wall.
Yeah, do you advise using just an Excel spreadsheet, or should we be investing in some software that can calculate this for us or not?
Yeah, great question, Rose. I like to do things very simply. So an Excel spreadsheet is totally fine. Again, it has to be what works for you. Other people like more advanced tools to work with, and you're certainly welcome to use some software, but it's not necessary. It's not required.
Mm.
You can get to your outcome using Excel.
Yeah, you can do. I guess, if you're proficient at using it, yeah, I guess so. A lot of people aren't, though, which is unfortunate. It's a great little tool to use if you know what you're doing. But even I've been using Excel since it first came out, and I'm still learning how to use it. So
Same here.
so much to learn in it. I guess, Manny, you help people with team building, organizational development. What sort of things do you help businesses with?
Yes. The first thing we do is I have the business owner teach me the ins and outs of their model, some of the things that are perhaps different or how they work. And then we'll do a financial statement review together. That's what I've been trained in. That's what I've been taught by my teachers and mentors, which is how to analyze a financial statement. And even though it's the same income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement, it's the same for every business. Each financial statement tells a different story. So we'll sit down together and it will act as our roadmap and guide us, and we can see and it'll force us to ask questions about the business. And I'll ask those questions to the business owner. Why are your margins, better than your competition, or why are they lower? Why do you have so much overhead, or why are you operating so efficiently? And that helps the business owner to gain a different perspective because they have so much going on a day-to-day basis. They find it difficult to just stop for an hour or two and review their progress.
Yeah. If they're anything like me, I dislike numbers heaps. I've got oh my goodness, I've got a program that I use, an accounting software program that I use that is hooked to my bank account. So I know that all my money stuff is in there. And when it comes to reconciling at the end of the year, it makes it so much simpler for me, because I just hate doing it. I mean, I know we should set, I know that we should be setting time aside each week to be doing our books, but if you don't like doing it, it's one of those tasks that you just leave till the end of the financial year.
You're not alone. That's like that for a lot of people. It's not the number one thing on the list, Rose.
No, I just so dislike money. I don't dislike money. I just dislike the fact that I have to actually allocate it to different things, and rather than going out to dinner.
Right.
So I guess, Manny, how can we build a good financial team?
That's a great question, Rose. It depends on what stage you're in with your business. Let's say you're just starting out. Well, when you're starting out, of course, you're wearing all the hats, and at a minimum, you're going to need a CPA, a certified public accountant, at least to help you filing, your taxes, because that's a specialized field and a full-time job. You can certainly do it yourself here in the States, but it's not always recommended. You can't possibly keep track of what's going on in the tax code. That's why you have a professional do it. So you'd start there. And then as your business would start to grow and you'd have some more money available, maybe potentially you can now delegate that task so you don't have to do it and hire a bookkeeper. And now there's a lot of bookkeepers that work on a part-time basis. And with the advent in technology, they don't need to be located, in your neighborhood or in your city. You can find someone remotely. And at a minimum, that bookkeeper would use software. That's really encouraged these days. I certainly grew up when we didn't have software. We were doing things by hand. So it's been a fascinating trip. So you would set up your accounting software, have your bookkeeper maintaining it, so you don't have that last minute rush, at the end of the year, whenever your tax filing begins. And also for you to help you as the owner understand where all your efforts are going every month. Are they translating into profit? Am I doing some things that are really not as profitable as I think? It helps you to gain visibility.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And sometimes we we tend to push the limits and try and grow our businesses much more quickly than our finances will allow. What can be the dangers there?
Yes. Yeah. Great question. You have to be, in my experience, very careful because we get mesmerized by all the dramatic growth stories, that we hear about in the news all the time. And they really are in the minority. They're like 1% of all of the businesses. For example, there's 30 million small businesses in America. And, there's people out there every day that run profitable businesses. They're able to take care of their employees, their families, their community. The main thing is to don't grow too fast where you get into loss making. You have to have a really good handle on that because, unfortunately, it could lead to your business failing, and you don't want that to happen. So one of the ways is, with a budgeting and forecast tool, and that will give you the information you need. So you'll have a reasonable idea when you can hire that next employee or when you can go get a bigger office space or things like that.
Yeah, that's very sound advice, because yes, a lot of us, we look at the shiny objects and we think, yeah, I'll just go and buy that, or I'll just go and do that for my business or something, and then you overextend yourself and then find out when the end of month bills come in, you don't have enough to pay for them, and then you start getting yourself into trouble. It's robbing Peter to pay Paul, so to speak.
Yes.
So how can we, I mean, I know you said about keeping a budget and all those other things, but what dangers can there be that we need to navigate through so that we don't overspend our dollars and chase those shiny objects?
You have to be very careful. we're all different as human beings. One of my hot buttons is to be careful with debt. Be careful with how you use your business credit cards. Be careful with if you have been able to get a business line of credit, be careful with that, because it's really easy to say, you know what, it's okay. I'm going to borrow this money now because I'm, planning on this sale closing. And, we never really know when the sale is going to close. You never know when your buyer is going to actually sign your agreement. You might need them to sign this week. You don't know what they're doing. They might be busy. They might have things going on in their family. They might be delayed. And meanwhile, the clock is ticking for you from a monetary perspective, because you need to get this money paid back. Mm-hmm. So you need to be, in my opinion, very careful with how you manage debt in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a good bank manager, if such things still exist, can be financially helpful. They can, other than your accountant, I think they're another person that you actually need on your team somewhere along the line that will keep you honest and make sure that you don't go into debt.
Yes. Again, it's something that you have to keep a careful eye on, because it's really easy. There's, all kinds of credit cards are thrown at you, and you have to, and sometimes you have the need, and the access is right there. So you use it.
Yeah. And I guess one of the things we should be careful is using business funds for personal use.
Yes. So one of the exercises I like to do with my clients is I'll place, $3 on the table and explain to them, to you, it's all money. You needed this dollar, so you just took it. You needed that dollar, you just took it. It's all money. But I break down to them, out of the $3 on the table, maybe one little sliver of those $3 is available for you. And because the money's not labeled, it's easy to fall into that trap. So you have to clearly segment your personal expenses with your business expenses, because your business can only afford to pay you so much, and you can calculate what that number is. So if you need, for example, $80,000, I'm sorry, if your salary in your business, if you're paying yourself, if your business can afford to pay you $80,000 a year, but you need $120,000 to live, then that's going to be a problem. So time is ticking on that one.
Absolutely. Yeah. It is so easy to dip into the business funds when you think, oh, the kids need new shoes, or I've missed a mortgage payment, so I just take this money out of the thing. And yeah, and you always say, oh yeah, I'll put that back, but you never do. Or very rarely, because it's not high on your priority list to pay that money back.
Mm-hmm. And if you're not looking at your books at least once a month to do a review, then you might not catch it. The only time you might catch it is you might be looking at your account and say, oh, I don't have enough to make payroll. It might catch you by surprise.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's really important to keep on top of your finances and make sure that you have some sort of a budget, for things like your marketing and so forth, because you could end up in a hole. Manny, have you written any books, or do you have a podcast?
I don't, Rose. I don't have a podcast, and I am in the very early stages of writing a book that's going to be, going over a similar topic, and that'll be published in the fall of this year.
Oh, wonderful. So that's what are you just into springtime now? So yeah, another 6 months or so it'll be out. Yeah. Wonderful. Yes. So what will be contained in the book, so people have a bit of a heads up of what's coming at them?
Yes, I'm going to talk about what my teachers and mentors have taught me throughout my career, in terms of, you can grow your business and stay profitable as you're doing it. You don't have to push so hard that you turn into loss making. That's going to be, how to, have peace of mind, and, give examples that, you can do it, and how to measure it, and all done very simply. So it's very easy to understand.
Oh, excellent. Good stuff. Manny,
Thank
if
you.
you were to give someone some advice, whether it be personal or financial advice, what would you share?
From a business perspective, I would say don't be in a rush. It's a long journey, and just take your time, one day at a time, and focus on being happy. That's the most important thing. When you find your passion in your business, it's not like work. You like what you do, and it gives you a whole different perspective and satisfaction in life. So take your time,
Absolutely.
don't rush.
Yeah. Life's too short to rush into stuff, I think. Manny, where can people find you if they'd like to work with you?
On my website, www.portalcfo.com. That's portalcfo.com.
Wonderful. And what can they find there on your website?
There is a host of blog articles that I've written based on my experience and what I've been taught. And, also different little nuggets of information about managing the challenges of growing a business profitably.
Worth taking a look at. Manny, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us today. And I look forward to talking with you again soon.
Thank you for having me, Rose.
Talking with the experts.